Motivation is bullshit. Self-belief is everything. All right, what does that mean?
Yes.
Well, look, if you wait for the right feeling to do things, you're going to be waiting a long time. And then when you get that feeling to do it, you'll do it. And then the feeling goes away. This is true for motivation as well. Motivation is a feeling. And if you tie everything you do to motivation, when it goes away, so will those things that are important to you. So self-belief, discipline, that's what matters. Do the things you should be doing even when you don't feel like it. That's a skill.
You know what's going to happen? That's going to go viral with him saying that.
That's Adam's quote.
Yeah, yes.
Adam said that a long time. No, it was on the show.
Shaquille O'Neal posted.
It doesn't even matter. I won't get.
I know. It's all good. But it's this one.
Yeah, what's sparking it?
I learned. Well, this one. Oh, you don't want to know what sparked it?
Yeah.
The UFC fights over the weekend.
Tony Ferguson and David Goggins.
I just saw the clips. I know you were able to watch the full fight.
Okay, so let's circle back.
We talked about this 2 weeks ago? A week ago?
Episode 2214.
Oh, you had it. Oh, nice.
Yeah, 30 minutes and 43 seconds in.
Oh, look at you, Doug. Look at Doug on his game today.
Wow. So,
excuse me.
David Goggins was a video of him training Tony Ferguson.
Yeah.
And it was just what we saw. So we don't know anything else, okay? So I want to be clear. But what we saw was terrible programming. There's no value to any kind of training that he was doing for an athlete. Like, okay, and any coach or trainer who is worth their salt will know that. They'll see it and be like, this is ridiculous. Now, I had a lot of people commenting, because I did post about it, underneath saying, well, he's training the mindset. He's just training his mindset. That's what David Goggins is good about.
Yeah, like Tony Ferguson needs that.
Yeah, and so then here we go. He has that fight, and the fact that he lost is not what I'm harping on. It's the fact that Goggins was in his corner. What was his advice?
Yeah.
Come on, man, you can do it, or whatever. Like the hype, the whatever. And it's super frustrating because, this is true for everyone. That feeling of hype and motivation is important. It's very, very important. But without the ability to continue to do what you need to do when it's gone, without that ability, then you're just going to be on, off, on the wagon, off the wagon. And Goggins I don't know the guy, actually like some of the stuff he says, but he represents those trainers in the industry that's what they do. What they're good at is trying to hype you up and excite you and get you going. And that was me the first 5 years of my career as well.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work for sustainability. That's
most like new trainers. It's like you're excited and like you want to convey that excitement to your clients, and it turns into a lot of that, and also trying to wow them with like hard exercises and kind of go through that process. And then you realize just steering them to create habits that are sustainable is that's the move. That's where the real work is going to kind of pay off.
Yeah.
I think this has always been a thing in the fitness space. I think it's gotten worse because of social media.
Yeah.
And what that is there's this endorphin dump that you get when you see that stuff. Like, I like it.
Who doesn't like to feel motivated?
Yeah. So it's such a hard thing to try and tackle, like communicating about it, because if we say anything at all that's negative about it, then all of a sudden we're, oh, how dare you say that about him? I love him, and it's because of him that I did this and did that. And so it's like this area where it's when we communicate and talk about it, it's like, it's not that it's bad. It's like that. Like if that is what got you off the couch to get going, it's important. But I also think that it also turns off as many people as it turns on. Meaning that it gets people going, but then so many people think that they have to live up to that level
or have that feeling all the time.
Or they're chasing that feeling all the time. And the truth is, one, you'll never live up to the David Goggins level. That guy's an animal, right? So you're already setting the bar so high that most people are going to fall short of that. And it is for sure a day, a week, a month, a year is going to come that you're not motivated. Mm-hmm. You're not hyped to go do it. And then at that point, you have nothing to lean on other than the behaviors and the habits that you created. And if you didn't create those habits and behaviors without the external motivation, then the likelihood that you're going to maintain it or keep it going or keep going down the path is just unlikely. And it's also the opposite. I feel like and by the way, agree, I was the same trainer for the first, 5 to 6 years, whatever that. But over time, learn that, what's crazy is actually kind of taking away that a little bit. So when the client's all super hyped and motivated, I'm going to go 7 days a week at them and I'm going to eat this diet, I'm going to do that. Instead of me piling on and be like, yeah, we're going to do this and getting hyped, I'd be like, you know what? Let's rethink that a little bit. Like, when was the last time you actually did that consistently for a long time? Why don't we do this? Why don't we set the bar lower? Let's stack some wins and build some momentum and create some habits, and then we'll build on those habits. Because what I don't want to do is, because you're all hyped and motivated right now, is set you on this path, and then in 2 weeks you can't maintain that, or shit happens, and now you have this huge crash of, I'm a failure, I can't live up to that.
Let's rename motivation, and let's call it I want to do that thing. Has anybody ever had to be convinced to get back on their diet when they want to be on the diet? Or what about when they work out or do anything else? So of course we like the feeling of motivation, because it takes away all the discomfort of doing things that we don't want to do, because now we want to do them. But the problem, again, is you're not going to want to do everything all the time, especially not things that are hard, or especially not things that require a lot of change in your life and maybe how you view yourself and stuff like that. And so you can't, if you develop the skill of just falling in love with that feeling, or you develop the relationship with motivation where this is how I get things done, this is how your routine's going to look, okay? You're going to go all in or all out. You're going to be on or off. There's not going to be ever any balance. So if you're listening right now and this is you, where it's like, man, when I'm on a diet, I'm on a diet. And then when I go off, I'm like so far off. Or yeah, I was on a kick and I was working out super consistent, and then I didn't just go less, I stopped. Like I totally stopped and I dropped off the planet with it. Then this is usually the issue, is this falling in love with this feeling of motivation. So you have to understand that is not, and now here's why the fitness industry, I want to be clear, by the way, here's why the industry of fitness focuses so heavily on motivation. If you capture motivated consumers, they will buy your stuff.
Yeah.
So if I can create that feeling or feed into it, or just capture people when they have that feeling, because when you feel motivated, you're attracted to the hardcore stuff. You're attracted to the big changes. You're attracted to like these massive goals. So the fitness industry is like, that's a great audience. If I could capture those people, they're going to give me however much money I ask for my product. So it just perpetuates the myth that this motivation is everything. It's not. By the way, here's what the data shows on this. I love this part too. If you develop the skill of discipline and do it the right way, which is kind of slow, steady, grow with it, figure things out. Okay, now it's a habit. Now I can add a little more. If you do that consistently, the feeling of motivation actually comes by more often. So you actually create the conditions for motivation to happen more frequently anyway, which is kind of like that's like the cherry on top, of what we're talking about.
I think it's, to get to the point where you can evolve past that, where it's like, this is just what I do. Like, I take this on and I do this, and I'm pragmatic, and I'm, disciplined. Every day I'm doing this, it produces a result. You just know that I just do this. And these are the best athletes I've seen out there that are not like super hyped up all the time. They just go out there and they produce the work because they do the work all the time. It's just that's just who they are, and it's hard to develop that, and that's something you do have to like train yourself to become. And that's through consistent discipline. And that's why you don't take it all on at once. No. You don't want to go with the super hype, because it's just, you're going all the way to the top. You're not building your way up and owning that.
Is there any scenario with an MMA fighter where you guys could have seen the value of hiring someone like that, like Goggins?
Yes. I don't necessarily think at this level, because at this level, I think there's already self-selection bias for mental toughness. So I don't know, maybe, but I think at more amateur levels, you may need to develop that mental toughness where you push past things. Then I could see maybe that approach.
So I saw a scenario that I could see that, right? Okay. And I think it aligns with your point you're making, and because it's less likely in the professional level, right? The professional level, most of you are dogs, right?
Yeah.
Most of you
that's what got you there already.
Yeah, you got that dog in you. But if you, like, let's say your last 3 fights, like you tapped, you know what I'm saying? Like you tapped.
Maybe there's a psychological.
Right. Or let's say like someone broke your arm.
You got knocked
in an arm bar like 2 years ago, and you're coming back, and then now you've
tapped. Had an almost career-ending injury.
And so if you know yourself, which we don't know that about Tony, there's a possibility, although his reputation in the UFC is he's one of that's what he's known for, is like he never taps, he never gives up. In fact, I don't know, Andrew would pull his stats up, but he may be one of those guys who has never tapped out, I think, in a fight. Like he's already known as like one of the toughest dudes in there. So I don't see that scenario with him, but I could see it in a situation if you know that where you're lacking is the mental toughness, or you're trying to get over this block, the psychological block, because then that makes sense having somebody like that. But to improve your sport, to have a motivation, mental toughness person, I don't know. It had to be a very
I think there's a
special scenario.
There are sports psychologists that are out there that are really good at that, and it doesn't look like, come on, you could do it, get up type of deal.
It's a lot of visualization. Yeah.
No, you know what that reminds me of? The sports that I've always been in were martial arts based. Okay, it was really annoying being in the audience, watching a jiu-jitsu match or MMA fight, and hearing people say something like, just hit him.
Yeah.
He's right there.
Yeah, just hit him, kick, or whatever. It's like,
hit him in the face.
yeah, it's like watching a basketball game and be like, just
Score-
make a shot.
Yeah,
just
score
make
the
a shot.
score the
Hit
bucket.
Yeah, come on, make a shot.
Get a touchdown already.
That's what he was yelling at him in the corner. It's like, what are you telling him? You're not giving him anything constructive. He's in the middle of a fight right now. You're telling him just toughen up. Like, no shit.
Andrew and I were talking about it, and I think because I watched the fight live, right? And I think there was a point in his corner when I think he realized it. I think he really felt like, because you can see,
oops.
you
Why
see
did I let him in my
he's
corner?
got two coaches and they're giving him constructive, a criticism on his fight. Like, oh, we need to, slip the jab more, this and that.
Yeah.
They're giving him technique stuff, or he's moving forward all the time. And then you hear Goggins say, just be you. Do more of you. And he's just not even looking over at him. He's like, fuck, what did I sign myself up for?
Yeah.
I love it.
I got some stats on him tapping.
Oh, yeah. What's his stats
in the UFC fights? So basically, professional record is 26-10. In his last 23 fights in the UFC, in his last 3 fights, 2 of them he actually tapped and lost.
Oh,
Okay.
interesting.
So most recently.
Not tapping.
So that's
is
interesting.
Not tapping is that's such a bad strategy. Like, if you're gonna get your arm broken, you might as well just tap out so you can fight again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Choked out maybe, but I don't know. Have you guys ever been? Well, you have been choked out because you guys
in
high school played those.
Yeah, we
stupid
did
games.
those dumb things.
Yeah,
to
people do
pass
weird.
out.
People
Yeah.
do weird things sometimes when they get choked out. I mean, people will shake or talk.
When you're a
or-
dumb
yeah.
boy, you want to feel things.
Yeah, I know.
you want to experience it for yourself for some reason.
Yeah.
There was a fight on that card too where a guy got knocked out so bad that he was
That's
going into
bad.
convulsions
That's
afterwards.
scary.
Oh,
Ooh.
it's super scary.
Oh man,
That's
it
so
was
scary.
And then even when he finally came to and they got him up, you just no less.
You want to know what's
Bad.
funny? I was an avid MMA fan. And of course, I love the grappling part because that's what I did. But I loved all MMA until I started training lots of surgeons and doctors.
Oh yeah.
And they would tell me, I would talk about the fights, and then they'd talk about the brain damage that was happening. And it totally killed it for me.
Who did we just talk to that shared all it takes to
Dr. Parsley.
Who was? Oh, Dr. Parsley.
Yeah.
That rule was really enlightening, right?
That episode will air later, but that's he was talking about the type
how
of
little, what do you say? What do you give? You give an analogy of
neuronal damage that happens to brain.
Oh, sound. Just even a gunshot is enough to do, that's crazy.
The vibration of it.
Yeah.
and the cross-sectional kind of shearing of the brain.
Yeah.
I mean, they just confirmed how fucked up Justin is.
We all know this. You guys, I've been on quite the
For sure.
the journey of trying to kind of heal things in my brain, and you have no idea.
Yeah, you know that they think that's the main theory now as to why men have beards and women don't.
It's to protect us from the blow a little bit?
Yes, from getting
interesting.
from blows. So one of the theories was a thick beard
softens it a fraction.
Actually,
of
it's, no, bro. Listen,
No
I'm gonna
way.
tell you. I watched this whole thing. It was pretty crazy. So the original belief was a thick beard displays health because you don't have mites and lice and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then some scientists are like, I wonder how much of an improvement this would make over potentially getting knocked out or injured. So they took skulls and they put varying degrees of beards on them, and they would drop an object on the face or the chin,
Right.
and it was a significant percentage of protection.
Well, imagine too if you were
a nice thick beard.
Imagine if you were aiming
Good,
too,
bushy
and
beard.
if someone's got a full beard here,
You
trying
can
to
miss their chin.
Yeah, you can miss their chin completely or not hit it right on the button. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you don't really see. Yeah,
'cause it's
you
all
have to hit that sweet spot.
Yeah,
for it to,
hard to aim for that if you can't see a chin. You know,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
I mean
isn't that
maybe.
wild? I know.
That's
I saw
funny.
that. So they showed that these skulls getting fractured and stuff. But a nice thick beard protects your face.
Well, what do you know? Well, even before the podcast, I've been like trying to help with like any kind of inflammation or brain cognition and all that stuff too. So I used to do like Pure, but I've been actually on a kick doing Ned's brain blend.
Oh yeah.
Have you guys been doing the brain blend?
I always do.
Oh, dude, it's amazing.
Yeah, that's the one I use. I would say I probably use it the most out of all.
Which
of
one's the
hemp oil
brain
products.
Really?
blend one?
That's the one I helped them put together.
It's like yeah, exactly.
So it's higher. It's got the CBD, but it's higher.
Lion's
in
mane's
cannabinoids.
in there.
Yes, lion's mane.
What's the bottle look
ginkgo,
on that
Coke.
one?
Pink.
Oh, I don't think I've even tried that one.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. You actually did. You tested it.
Oh, the sample I tried.
tested it.
Okay, yeah, I remember when but I haven't since then.
Yes.
That's it right there, Justin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it
so
comes in like a pink.
It comes in like the pink,
White and pink.
tube or whatever.
Oh,
Yeah, but it has
Makes a
compounds that
difference.
improve blood flow to the brain, that boost BDNF, which is like fertilizer for neurons. Okay. And then it's higher in some terpenes and cannabinoids that have been found to be more anti-inflammatory for the brain. So
Yeah.
it's good
Did you
stuff.
talk to when we met with Dr. Khan? Did you talk about stuff that you could do peptide wise? And did any of the stuff that we just did recently?
Yeah, like C-Max and Selank, I believe. And then, so that was sort of my move there. And then also too, like a nasal spray with like insulin,
nasal spray.
which I thought was interesting.
So it's a very, very, very low dose of insulin. He says it doesn't affect like plasma insulin levels, I guess, in the blood. But you do it right either before you eat. I think it was before
I think
you
it's right
eat,
after you eat.
or right after you eat.
Yeah.
And
I haven't started it yet. But
It improves insulin sensitivity in the brain, and so it's supposed to be really good for the brain and cognition.
Interesting.
But it's such a small dose that
Yeah.
he's like, there's no potential negatives. This was his words in terms of like, interesting, right?
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
know that existed.
Yeah, no, either did I.
And it's not for people with diabetes, not people pre-diabetic, like the average person apparently could use it and get like this brain boost.
Wow.
Wild stuff. Yeah. So now I'm starting to notice, I think I can tell some of the stuff that he gave us, the peptides and the stem cell.
You too, huh? Yeah, I've been feeling like quite significantly better. I mean, it's starting to